What I'm going to tell you is going to really shock you. I'm a 100% disabled veteran. I was poisoned by Carnival Cruise Line on a cruise. They were trying to maximize profits. So when they found out that they had E. coli water on their ship, that the whole drinking system was infected with E. coli, they sent the ship out anyhow because they didn't want to cancel cruises. And they've got everybody in the government bribed where they kept it secret. Well, I went to sue, and as I went through the process, I was denied access to the Miami court, denied access to the appeals court, and then the Supreme Court denied me access, and I started investigating. I found out that all these courts are bribed by Carnival. In 1991, a couple in Washington State were harmed by Carnival. They fell down because of negligence on the ship. They had taken a ship out of California, and Carnival said, we got fine print. If you want to sue us, you have to go to Florida, to Miami to sue us. You can't sue in California where you were harmed. Well, that's called fulcrum shopping, and normally it's illegal. It's illegal for one party in a lawsuit to be able to pick his favorite court, a court he has in his pocket to make you go to. And this is especially true with Carnival because Carnival has the whole city of Miami bribed. Carnival is a Panama corporation. It's run by a Jewish mafia crime family, the Mickey Arneson crime family, but it's incorporated in Panama to avoid paying any taxes and to get above our laws. So while they're a Panama corporation, they pour hundreds of millions of dollars into every charity in Miami to make sure that the federal judges there are in their pocket. If a federal judge in Miami goes to a hospital, part of his bill is being paid by grants from Carnival Cruise Line. If he goes to a library, if he goes to see the opera, if he goes to see the basketball team, the world famous Miami Heat, that's owned by Carnival Cruise Lines. Everything Miami is paid for by Carnival, a Panama corporation that doesn't give one penny to help the starving people in Panama, but pours all these hundreds of millions of dollars into one city, the city where you have to sue them. So this couple, the Schultz family, went to the Supreme Court and they said it's wrong. We shouldn't have to, it shouldn't cost us more to sue these people than what we were harmed. You know, we can't go all the way from Washington State across the country to Miami to sue for a little slip and fall. Well, the Supreme Court, which was clearly heavily bribed by Carnival, it's a corporate court, the Supreme Court issued a decision and they said, they were real quiet in their decision. They didn't say nothing about Carnival being a Panama corporation, you know, that had no right to even be in Miami. They said nothing about Carnival bribing everybody in Miami, even though it's public knowledge that Carnival pours hundreds of millions of dollars in Miami. The Supreme Court has said in other cases that if you just spend a couple million in the whole state to influence a judge, it denies you due process. But in Florida, the same Supreme Court says you can spend hundreds of millions of dollars to bribe the federal court, and it's legal. You know, so you figure out who's getting all this money. So anyhow, Schultz went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court says you have to sue in Miami because they got fine print. It's called the Fulcrum Selection Clause, and we're going to take away the rights of everybody and force them to go there, no matter how inconvenient it is, no matter how ridiculous it is. You have to go to that bribe court in Miami if you want to sue Carnival. But they say, here's what we're going to do. Because we're really doing the public wrong, you know, we're taking away your rights and letting them fulcrum shop and all this, we're going to require Carnival to take the savings they save by having people sue them in Miami instead of all these other states. And they have to take these Schultz savings and they have to use them to reduce tickets to the public. They have to reduce fares. Well, for 23 years, Carnival has saved billions of dollars. Carnival has saved so much money, they took the profit and they bought 10 more cruise lines, 10 more cruise line brands. They own the cruise industry in America now. This Jewish crime family from Israel owns America's cruise industry because of a crooked Supreme Court saying, letting them save all this money when they do people wrong, when they don't obey the law, when people get hurt on their ships, get E. coli, get the nanovirus, and when their ships catch fire, like recently happened out there because of Carnival's neglect. Carnival forces them to go to a court where Carnival has the judges bribed. bribed big time. I'll talk about one city, they're pouring hundreds of millions of dollars. And they own the NBA basketball team that everybody loves in the city and every single thing in that city. If you go to the Carnival's website and to the Carnival charity, you'll see that from the museums to the parks to the hospitals to the schools, everything in Miami gets money from Carnival. They own the federal court system. So the Supreme Court says all this money you save by forcing everybody to come to this rigged court you got in Miami, all these Schultz profits you have to give back to the public, and therefore it's in the public interest to take away the rights of the public and force them to sue in Miami, pursuant to that Fulcrum Selection Clause. So for 23 years, Carnival has taken those savings and they bought 10 more cruise lines. They bought $500 and $600 million yachts for Mickey Arneson and his sister. They bought the whole banking system in Israel. That's right, the mafia crime family, the Arneson Jewish crime family, bought the whole banking system in Israel and gave it to Mickey Arneson's sister, who runs the biggest bank in Israel. They have made so much money that they have cost the taxpayer billions of dollars that was supposed to be spent for the benefit of the public. Now read the Schultz decision. It says right in black and white that the savings from Schultz, from taking away the people's rights, the savings by making people sue Carnival in Miami is supposed to be used for the benefit of the public. Not one dime has been used for the benefit. Carnival has never reduced a ticket because of these Schultz savings, like the Supreme Court told us, promised us would be done. The judges on the Supreme Court are all liars, all blatant liars. Not once has Carnival reduced ticket prices because the Schultz savings, like the Supreme Court told us in writing, would be done. Now, what they have done is they charged the U.S. government triple and profiteered off a hurricane when they sent their ships to the New Orleans to sit there at the dock and act as floating filthy motels. They charged triple what would if the people had taken cruises, and they didn't provide entertainment. They just ripped off the government big time when they're supposed to reduce their fares. So this mafia is getting by with all this crooked stuff. The Arneson family has stolen billions and billions of dollars from the public. I went to the Supreme Court telling the Supreme Court, hey, you promised the public this money would benefit them. Take it back from the Arneson crime family. The Supreme Court would not let me go before their court because I'm a disabled veteran. They wouldn't even answer my questions. They wouldn't even look at it because they're partners with the mob. The Supreme Court are the ones who put all these lies. We got in writing that they lied to us and told us that the profits would be spent on the public. All these benefits from Schultz would go to the public. None of them have. So I'm calling out the judges on the Supreme Court. I'm saying you are all liars, and every one of you belong in jail, usually helping a mafia crime family rip billions off the public. Contact the president, what little president we got for now, contact Congress and raise hell and contact the media and demand that all these billions of dollars in profit that this mafia crime family used to buy America's whole cruise industry and to buy the whole banking system in Israel, these billions and billions of dollars be taken from the Arneson family and given to the public like the Supreme Court told us would be done 23 years ago. Those billions of dollars belong to you and me, the public. It doesn't belong to the Arneson family. And the Supreme Court needs to quit helping mafia crime families steal from the public. Thank you.